I'm Sherrie Abney. I'm a lawyer in Dallas, Texas, and I'm currently involved in the collaborative process as a trainer, a facilitator, and author. I've authored a book called Avoiding Litigation, A Guide to Civil Collaborative Law. When I began practice, it was a little bit late in life to be a lawyer, so I hadn't been thoroughly indoctrinated at law school. I used to follow the professors around saying, why do we do it this way and why is this law that way? Because it seems this is for the benefit of the lawyers rather than for the clients. And quite often I didn't get answers to those questions. I was ignored. But when I got out of law school, I began to practice. And about the first 10 years of practice, I was a litigator. And I did a lot of things that I would never dream of doing now, simply because I thought that was the way you practiced and because that was what other people were doing. After a while, I began to think, I really don't think I fit in this profession if this is what I have to do. I don't like this. I became embarrassed when I would bill my clients for billing them for a lot of acts that I took to supposedly protect them from erroneous discovery, depositions, or whatever the other side decided to do, which to me was simply fee building. So I said, I'm not doing this anymore. And I began to back off from litigation. I became a fee attorney for a title company and did real estate transactions. And then I heard about the collaborative process. So in 2000, I went to a training, and I thought, if I can practice law like this, then I'll go ahead with it. Because I feel like I can do something that I enjoy, I can do a beneficial service for my client, which is why I became a lawyer in the first place, and I can feel good about it. Well, after doing a few family cases, I started thinking, why is this limited to family law? There's absolutely no reason that people that have disputes in other areas of the law can't benefit from this process. So at that point, I began to share these ideas with other lawyers. And eventually, Larry Maxwell, myself, and a few other people got together and formed the Texas Collaborative Law Council. And we began to promote the process. Well, it's very difficult to get collaborative law going in civil areas. We began doing trainings every year, and I was put in charge of training. I always like to say what happened was I went on vacation and came back and discovered I was vice president in charge of training and education. And so that fall, put together the first training. We've improved a lot and come a long way since that first training in 2004. We began training people, but when the lawyers would come for training, there would be one in construction, one maybe in intellectual property, one in probate, and when these people would go back out into their communities, and sometimes they'd be from coast to coast. We've had people from all over the United States, so they go home, there's nobody to play with. And it takes two collaborative lawyers, of course, to do a case. And so some would get discouraged and forget about it. Others would keep working, but it was still hard because not many people were training civil collaborative. So it's been a very long, hard road. And Helen Harkness, who works with lawyers in transition here in Dallas, she's a fine lady, and she'll come up every once in a while when she sees me, and she pats me on the shoulder and says, Sherrie, the pioneers never are recognized and never make any money, but just keep working. So with Helen and Jean Fahey in California, some of the other people that are my cheerleaders, I keep on at it, and we kind of cheer each other on, the members of what was TCLC, which is now GCLC, the Global Collaborative Law Council. But we're beginning to grow, and we're getting memberships from other parts of the world, other states. Michael Zatunian in Boston started the Collaborative Law Center, and he reported to me the other day that he has 10 collaborative cases, civil cases. right now. And that's pretty exciting because we're beginning to see things happen. I believe that when the public learns what can happen for them in the collaborative process, that they will demand that their lawyers do collaborative law. So there's a change coming, and we're on the front end of it, and it's difficult right now, but that's okay. Don't make much money, but I'm sure a whole lot happier than I ever was as a litigator. And to me, that is more important. The similarities between family collaborative law and civil collaborative law are simply, to me, that they both follow the same steps of the process of being, discovering interesting concerns, information gathering, development of options, evaluation of options, and negotiation of a solution. So in that realm, then you have a lot of flexibility. And it's the process is, the idea of interest-based negotiation is going to be the same either place. How the process is conducted is somewhat similar, but yet it's different. And you will find big differences in family as you go around the country. I know that you've talked to a lot of different people, and for instance, there's a California model where you've got 2 mental health professionals, one for each party in the family situation. You've got the financial person and a child specialist. In Texas, the Texas model is you have one mental health person who acts as a facilitator and actually conducts the meetings with the lawyers and the clients. Sometimes you have a child specialist, sometimes you don't, and of course you have a financial person. There are other models in different places around the states, but the family always, their model generally always consists of an arrangement of, or an array of mental health professionals in different capacities and a financial person. Obviously, on a construction case, there's no place for a financial person to figure out how to divide anything up because you're not dividing anything up. You may or may not need a mental health person. We're referring to MHPs in civil as facilitators. The reason for this is, of course, most civil lawyers and their clients would be upset if you said, you know, we need a mental health person for this, because they obviously are quite sane and don't need any help in that area. But we do have, recently when I trained in Atlanta, we had a lady come down from Boston who is an executive coach. And people kept trying to stick the label of MHP or communications coach or something, and she kept saying, no, 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 I am an executive coach. And basically she coaches executives on everything from how to dress to how to communicate with other people, how to negotiate. And I see a definite place for these kinds of people in the civil area. Not in every case, but certainly many times they would be helpful.